you very much for joining and enjoy the rest of the session. So I would like to, the first topic what we are doing is, it's a marine logistics in international trade by none other than Mr. Sanjeev Kumar. Okay. So Captain Sanjeev Kumar ji has is a name in marine logistics. So I will just quickly introduce Captain Saab. Captain Sanjeev Kumar is a veteran marine professional with over 30 years of experience in shipping and international trade. With a passion for mentoring and industry excellence, he continues to empower the next generation of supply chain leaders by sharing his extensive knowledge in international supply chain. So he worked in ship and as a captain and many other opportunities. Okay, so I would like to Captain Sanjeev, welcome on board, sir. Please introduce yourself, because I just talk about whatever we know, and then please continue your presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul, for the introduction. Welcome everybody on this platform, which I find it's very unique. And as Mr. Abdul said, it's a good opportunity for all the people who are in the supply chain domain to learn, understand, and also to post their queries. Because this is something which is very important. I would love to answer your queries. And my brief introduction already has been given to you. But again, I would like to add, I joined Merchant Navy way back in 1982. And then I was working on the ships and became captain of the ship in 1995. Then I worked as a captain for a couple of years. And then I moved on to ashore and worked with shipping lines. I was into a freight forwarding company where we were doing CHA business. We were handling cargo. Then I have been doing chartering for ships also, which is for bulk cargo, which I will not much develop on in today, because I feel we are only talking of unitized cargo. So I will talk mostly cargoes which will go in containers on the ships. And then in the supply chain domain, I have done workshops, which are recently in the last 5 to 7 years, because supply chain has evolved as a very important aspect in the industry. And it is very important to address the issues which a good supply chain demands. Earlier on, like initially when I started ashore and when I was working on a shipping line, that time we would just give a BL and forget about it. And the cargo would reach its destination when the ship would reach. Nobody asked about it. But now things are very demanding, because it is both ways. We have technology to improve upon. But before that, what has happened is, it is the requirements of both the shipper and the buyer. And I feel it is his right also to know where his cargo is, when it is going to reach. So that is why the technology has been now synchronized with the cargo in containers on the ships, and we can having a much better supply chain than what it used to be, say, 10 to 15 years ago. I will, because we are talking of global, it's a global supply chain excellence summit. And I would, I appreciate Mr. Abdul's foresight by starting the summit with the marine aspect, because the cargo is taken out on a global aspect, mostly on the ships. it is like, if I say by weight, 95% is on ships, because hardly any cargo, when we talk of the volume and the weight, is carried by or by air. Mostly it is by the ships and the marine part. So we will start the summit with the marine logistics and how we can, what all goes on in the marine field, and what, as a supply chain expert, you are expected to know, and what is the integrities of it. Okay, so I'll share my screen. How I will go about in this presentation is, first I will tell you about each and every aspect of getting the cargo from the shipper, then packing it, seeing how it can be done, custom clearance, and then how the cargo moves on and finally reaches its destination to the buyer. So this is I will take you through this, and later on in the end, after that, once I have told you about each and every aspect, we will discuss regarding the supply chain, the importance of marine logistics in supply chain. So I'll share my screen now.
Yep. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Okay, so because I can't see myself in this system anyway. So
Yeah, you can continue.
you can see the screen, sir?
Yes, we can see the screen. Perfect. Please continue.
Okay. Okay, now because we were moving so much of cargo, so much of variety of cargo, it was very important to standardize the way cargo moves, the way it has to be categorized. For this, what was developed was HS code. This is the harmonized system code, which is very, very exhaustive, which is very elaborate, and it has practically all that which moves or which is likely to be moved from one country to the other. It is for the international trade. And eventually, once this code was formed, what has happened, this code is also now used internally also, because with this one code, you can identify what cargo we are dealing with, what is the commodity we are dealing with. It is basically a 6-digit code. There is it's a book actually, and now you can get this. It's not really required to get a book, but on the soft copies. And HS code is a 6-digit code which identifies and classifies products for international trade mainly. By this code, what is the advantages of this code is that it is then when the cargo is going from one place to other, there is things like language issues. When we are talking of international trade, there is a question of perception, what you perceive. So for all this, it was standardized. The code gives you exactly what are we talking of, what is the commodity which is being shipped out and what is being sold. You can say sold or bought, because international trade, there is a buyer and there is one seller, and they are sitting in two different countries. That is what we have to understand today when we talk about, or when I discuss marine logistics with you, that it is between two countries. Because as a supply chain professional, I can understand you are probably in a domain where you do not do international trade, but this is today, since we are discussing global supply chain, it's imperative that you understand how things move globally. And what is it? HS codes are used to determine tariffs and requirements applied to the product. So what is it like? Once the code was set, it also set uh, facilitated, you can say, the customs part, because when we do trade, customs is very important. From the country where it has been exported, customs want to know what cargo is being exported out from the country. It is not that anything which belongs to a country can be exported. People do have, or countries have tariffs, they have export barriers. For that also, this HS code helps when we are exporting the cargo, what cargo is being going out. So this code is used by customs. Then customs are using it to assess the duties. Once it is at the destination port, customs know what cargo is being imported to their country. And practically all countries which are importing cargoes, they have some, something you can say like a tariff or a duty, or again, what is being imported into the country. And this HS code also becomes as a source of statistics in international trade, because with this code we know how much or what cargo is being moved from which place to which place. And then, like, geographically, what cargo is going from country A to B. And then also uh, uh, what is the quantity worldwide, between regions, between areas, all that. So this is also helping you with this code, exactly what where you are doing. And also internal taxes and liabilities, it's again same thing what I already told you, that this code can be used to know what is the taxes we are like the country is collecting with us with a particular commodity. And also liabilities means what we are paying off. Like, for example, with the internal taxes, just to clarify my point, it is like, suppose when we do, India traditionally we import a lot of black oil, fuel oil, like, what is eventually refined, and we get the petrol and diesel. So crude oil is imported into the country. We are still not, India is still not sufficient. So liabilities or taxes is, in this respect, it will be how much crude oil do we import, or how much is our outgo in the foreign exchange with respect to the crude oil what we export. So this is the liability aspect, what we can relate to with the HS code. Okay. HS code, like I said, is a 6-digit uh, figure. So how do we do this 6 figures? So first of all, the first 2 digits are the chapter. So we have you can say cotton yarns or cotton linen. That is a chapter. So the first 2 will be the chapter. Next 2 digits is the heading in the second part of the code and indicates a specific category. Like once you know that it is a cotton yarn, so that will be in, say, 66. Then what is the yarn has done? So suppose it is a knitted yarn. So then the heading, second heading, you get it. Second set of 2 digits. Like first 2 will be the chapter. After that, the third and fourth digit gives you the heading. And then afterwards, subheading. Subheading is the next fifth and sixth digit. Subheading in this case will be, okay, is it the garment what we are talking of? Is it for women or men or children or anything? Subheading, because it's a various. It's once we are, you can imagine a commodity which is being exported. The headings, subheadings are actually the subheadings. If you see, they are very, very elaborate, because, like I said, this HS code eventually defines the commodity which is being exported. On that behalf, the custom duties are evaluated. So subheadings are plenty. So that is the digit 5 and 6. And in some cases or some countries, they also have they have added 4 digits to it after the 6 digits. So some places they have two, like UK has got, they add their own 2 digits. So in that case, HS code becomes 8 digit. And some places they have, some countries they do have add another 4. That is again very specific to the country. And also they're trying to, probably make another, after the subheading, make another subdivision if they require, or the country requires. So it becomes, already it was specific, then becomes more specific, especially for the country which we are talking of, or who has given this additional 2 or 4 digits. So that is about the HS code. Why I have started with the HS code is because once we assign the HS code to the commodity in international trade, we will have not only the customs, we will have so many things, like the next slide. I'm talking of packing. See, now you have a commodity like, like I talked about, say, garments. You have cotton garments, you have synthetic garments, you could have anything. Again, when you talk of synthetic garments or garments, for you it is very easy to understand or perceive, yes, it will be in a cardboard box. Agreed. Cardboard box is okay. Our perception goes there. But now I want to expand it. Suppose we are talking of, say, spare parts or OEM, original equipments for, say, automobiles. Again, then it is not only cardboard box. They will be probably packed in a manner that they don't get damaged during the transit once they are shipped from one country to the other. So packaging defines how it is to be done. Thirdly, just try to understand now in this cargo, what as a supply chain professional, you get a cargo which is dangerous cargo, say about chemicals. I am sure you can relate to chemicals. Suppose there are some chemicals which have to be transported from one country to another. Certainly, it can't go in just an ordinary cardboard box. For that, it will be defined what kind of container it will be packed in, what kind of, or then what is the strength of the container, what is the size of the container. I mean, it like suppose it is liquid chemicals, what is the maximum you can put in one container. So all that is given in the packaging, and where to get the packaging for a particular commodity again is linked with the HS code. And this packaging, what happens is it it serves another purpose. It not only sets the standards for packaging, it's a unified thing. And like I said, international trade, there is the cargo or the commodities are moving between countries. Means it's just an order which is given by a buyer to a supplier in one country. So if the packaging is not standardized, then the buyer doesn't know how the cargo is going to come. You think it is a good packaging, but by the time it reaches the destination, maybe the package is spoiled. And then what will happen? You will say, I packed it properly. He is saying the receiver or the buyer is saying, no, the goods were damaged while in transportation. So where do we put the onus? The onus is with the packaging, which we have defined in the HS code. So first of all, this cargo, when we're talking of international trade, is how do you pack the cargo? Okay, so then what happens is this also, once this packaged is done, goods are packed in a proper manner, there are no questions of disputes, because international trade, remember, we are again talking of people in two different countries. There are good chances about disputes. You cannot travel. Suppose you have sold some cargo from India to say a country like some country in South America, say Brazil, Argentina. You can't be going to Argentina all the time just to settle down or just to you know, tell them, no, this is not the way I package the goods. So this is when they are shipped according to a code, then the disputes are also settled more easily. Another thing, when we are talking of packaged goods, there is a specific way or specific manner how the shipping line will also accept the packaged cargo for the containers. I'll show you my next slide. Okay, now once we have done the packaged, see now what I'm saying again, I'll take you back to the garments. The garments, you have put it in, say, cardboard boxes. Now now you want to ship, for example, 500 cardboard boxes of garments. So what is it? Now you pack it, you have packed it very well. It is in the packaging, it is in the required packaging, chemicals, whatever. Now we got it in the right package. Now what next? Now this cargo has to be packed or say stuffed in a container. The cargo, like I said, unitized cargo these days, it's not like earlier, long years back, there was general cargo containers. We were putting these boxes right away, but that is now gone. Absolutely, it's old story. Now all cargo moves into a containers. These containers, if you can see, you must have seen on the roads, you know, this is how the container ship looks like from top. This what you see, these orange boxes, these are the containers, how they are carried by ship. So first of all, let me take you back to how we put this cargo into a container. Okay, 500 boxes of garments you have got, and this needs to be shipped by sea from say again India to USA. So now what will happen is you have to take or hire a container from a shipping line, and these boxes have to be stuffed in the container. How do we stuff the container is also very important, because in case of your garments, it's again a light cargo. But suppose, like I said, they are spare parts of automobiles. They are heavy. So they cannot be just dumped into the container, because while the containers on the ship and the ship is at sea, it is not like what we do on the road. You know, it is not that just it is going straight, but the ship keeps moving, rolling, pitching. There are a lot of movements which happens to the ship and consequently to the containers which are on the ship. So that is why stuffing of the cargo in containers has got lot of importance. And then how do you do it? Is you hire experts who do your stuffing of containers properly, and this is done by, say, experts who do the container stuffing. So that is how the next part is stuffing of the containers. When I sum it up in the end, the importance of everything in a supply chain perspective, then you will appreciate what I'm trying to tell you at this stage, because it's important for me to explain it to you, the background, how it is done. So that is why the stuffing of containers is the next step. Once we have packaged the goods, next we will be doing stuffing of the containers, and which is done by experts. And it is a manner like how it can be transported safely by the ship. Okay, I take you to the next slide. Okay, so once we have this cargo is stuffed in the container, next step is now this thing, the cargo is ready to be exported out. So how do you do that? What is the next step once you have the cargo in the container ready to be shipped? So then what happens is there is a there are people, or there is a profession called custom house agents, because now the cargo which is to be exported needs to be reported to the customs, because the customs have to approve the cargo which is to be exported out from the country. This is a rule with all the countries. It's not only India or anything. This is a regulation which is done by everybody. The customs will approve the cargo which is to be exported out, and this job is done by the custom house agents. They are agents approved by the customs, who are well aware, who are well versant with the rules of the country. They know what paperwork is required. They know what rules have to be applied, and how the cargo has to be categorized. Like I said, the HS code. All this is mentioned when they are giving the particulars or papers to the customs for getting the permission for the export. So and then what happens is, once this container is ready, the CHA will approach the customs. The customs will examine the goods. They can open the container, or accordingly, if the customs CHA gives a declaration, okay, this container is containing so and so, say 500 boxes of garments, and the garments are this, he will have a CHS code for the garments, and the customs will, okay, on their own judgment, on their own background of the CHA, that is their procedure, how they will do it. So what they will do it, they will give you clearance for export. So what is in customs, or in this our trade, what we call it is a let export order. So once you get the let export order, LEO, so then what happens, next step is this CHA will go and approach the shipping line. Now see, the container which the shipping line will load, the cargo is in the container. The container cargo in the container has been examined by customs, and the customs have allowed it to be exported. So now, now you can imagine there is one container of cargo which is ready to be exported. Next step, the CHA will approach the shipping line. Suppose there are so many shipping lines, there are various ships which are coming. So that is okay, immaterial. But the CHA will go and approach a shipping line and book one space for one container on the vessel. He will say, like he typically, you can say cargo is to move from like India, from Bombay, it will go to Mumbai, and from Mumbai it has to go to USA. Let me take it as New York. So he will approach a shipping line which can take his container, or which is having a service between India and USA, or east coast of USA. So there is a shipping line whose ship is going to come to Mumbai, say in 2-3 days time, 5 days time, and they say, okay, we'll take it. Our ship is going to New York. So he will book a space for one container with the shipping line, and he will deliver the stuffed container to the nominated container depot of the shipping line. This is what happens. I hope everybody is with me. If in case you have any questions at any stage, please ask me.
Sir, we do have a questions. Yeah,
Yes.
so we thought very interesting explanation. The one question here is, we always have a doubt, everybody, that is the charges for the container is done based on the weight or based on the volume. Okay. How about the high weight items? What is the charge pattern these people do for the cargo shipping? Yeah.
Okay. See, charges with the shipping line, we are charging based on the container.
Mhm. Mhm.
Containers are two types of containers basically. One is a 20-foot container and another is a 40-foot container. So in this, there is a weight restriction for a 20-foot container and a 40-foot container.
Okay.
The heavy cargo will go in a 20-foot container, and 40-footer is meant for lighter cargos. But to come back and answer your specific question is the charges or the freight, actually it's called freight. Freight is charged basis the container, 20-foot container and a 40-foot container, nothing to do with weight or, volume of the ships. This is up to the custom CHA to pack as much as possible in a container. That is his specialization.
So the second question, sir, thank you. So it's basically volume, which is more important, with a ceiling of a maximum container.
Yes.
Fine. The second question is the freight forwarders and everybody should work through custom house agents for clearing and all, right, sir?
Yeah.
So it is mandatory that so custom house agent is one of the most important part in the whole transport. Okay, sir.
Yeah. No, I would very difficult to say most important, but he is an important link in the whole chain.
I mean, it's important.
It is important, yes. Custom house agent is the first person who will, get your cargo cleared from customs and then make it ready for being shipped on the vessel. And like now, you already mentioned about a freight forwarder. See, what a freight forwarder is different from a CHA, custom house agent. Freight forwarders are people basically, who are facilitating your freight part of the shipping business, in the sense that like when you go to a shipping lines, you will only go to one shipping line, for example, or you are not aware of all the shipping lines, for example, who are going from say Mumbai to New York. But when you go to a freight forwarder, he is a knowledgeable person who is booking freight from anywhere to anywhere. But since we are talking of Mumbai, knowledgeable than you about the type of ships or number of ships who can carry your particular cargo from Mumbai to New York. So what happens is, instead of being one or being trying to get knowledge about the shipping line, you just approach a freight forwarder, and freight forwarder, he can give you the best rate because he knows which is a more, say, cost effective line. Sometimes you are not you don't want cost effective, but you want shorter transit period. So you could have some sensitive cargo, like typically in shipping line, we have sensitive cargos when we are coming to the festive season.
Correct.
Like Christmas is around the corner. So in India, somewhere around, say, September, October, we would have people approaching us that, sir, please, we want this container to be in, say, New York before end of November. So that time he's not talking of, he's not negotiating the freight. He wants his cargo to reach New York in time. So that is the case. Sometimes it is the transit factor and sometimes it is the freight rate factor. But the freight forwarder is the right person to go.
Perfect. Perfect. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So now coming back to the presentation, it is like, so now once you have booked the space, and we will be, the container gets handed over to the shipping line, and then the shipping line what he does next is he will give you a receipt. naturally. The receipt of goods, which is in the shipping terms, I'm sure you people who are dealing with international trade, they know what a bill of lading is. So bill of lading is, once the bill of lading is issued to you by the shipping line, means that the shipping line has accepted your cargo. He would on the shipping line mention the name of the ship. On the shipping line, bill of lading, you will have the port of loading, the port of discharge, and also bill of lading is a instrument which the shipper is very eagerly asking you for, because the bill of lading is negotiated, and in many cases the bill of lading, once it is issued to the shipper, he can approach his bank, and then he can also get the payment for the goods that he has shipped. Depends on what the terms of the sale are between the buyer and the seller. But yes, the bill of lading gives is a proof that the goods have been shipped. So that is why the bill of lading is a very important document which anybody who is dealing with in international trade and or supply chain, where global supply chains must understand the importance of. Okay, so that is what this slide was, that once the shipped goods are handed over, stuffed and handed over after custom clearance, the shipping line will issue you a bill of lading. And as I said, it is a legal document with the shipper, which states that port of loading, port of discharge, place where goods will be handed over to the buyer. It's not always the port of discharge where the goods are handed over. The shipper can also ask you to deliver at another place. For example, in respect to India again, which will be, all of us could easily relate to, is like suppose you have a buyer in say New Delhi. So New Delhi is not a port, but the shipper in say whatever country where the cargo is coming from, he can nominate that I want this cargo to be delivered in New Delhi. So in that case, it is port of discharge is probably Mumbai, but goods where it will be handed over to the buyer will be New Delhi. So the shipping line transports these goods or the container from the gateway port, Bombay, and then brings it to Delhi. So this is all these things where the goods will be handed over. The details of such things are mentioned in the bill of lading. Okay, so next. So once now what happened is, now just imagine, now you got the bill of lading and you are a supply chain professional. For you, the things do not end there. It is now you have to see, or you want to basically know how or where your container is. So once the bill of lading is received and you get your container is shipped out or handed over to the shipping line, it is the responsibility, or it is the part of our job as a supply chain consultant or professional, or we are giving supply chain solutions to track the container also. Because as I said previously, or many years ago, it's a very obsolete things to talk about. So at the moment, it is there that yes, tracking is done by each and every shipper. Every day, there is now technology has empowered the shipper to the extent that he can know where his ship is, where the ship is presently, and which date the ship will reach its destination port. So that is why I have mentioned cargo tracking is, which was not at all of any importance long time back, but now very important, because cargo tracking is the only way where you can set up your next part. Next part is once the container cargo is reaching the destination country. That time again, you have to be proactive. You have to make, your arrangements much earlier so that there is no problems once the container reaches the destination port. In case of what I was talking of Mumbai to New York, you can imagine, oh, it will take 15 days. We got a lot of time. But to put this cargo tracking in perspective, let me tell you, or let all of you imagine that the cargo is shipped out from, say, Mumbai and to be discharged in Dubai, which is only 2 days time or 2.5 days time. So in that case, if you are not tracking the cargo, you are not tracking the ship on which it is going, before you realize the ship is already in Dubai. So for that, the arrangements have to be made. You have to tell your counterpart in the discharge country or where the destination country that, yes, I have sent this container. The documents have to go from India to the destination country, and you only got 2.5 days, because he also has to arrange for delivery of the cargo. Okay, I will take you through the next slides, which are more talking about in the same thing. But the importance of cargo tracking is immense in our recent days when we talk of supply chain excellence. Okay, so now before the cargo is once the tracking is being done, there is another thing that is happening, because now what has happened, the cargo is the shipper has done the shipment, and it was suppose reaching the destination. The shipper also wants to know about the payment and how the delivery will take place at the destination port, and how these things are facilitated. Because see, before the cargo reaches the destination port, these things must be already in place so that we don't waste any time. It is not that we start reacting once the cargo reaches the destination port. That is why bill of lading is a negotiable document, as I said earlier also. On the basis of this or bill of lading, what happens is the shipper can get his payment of goods if it is arranged so. Very rarely now it is that after the goods have been received by the shipper, he is making the payment. Not normally, the payment of the goods are already paid before the shipper actually gets to see his cargo. So it is all based on the bill of lading. It's a negotiable document. And once the bill of lading is paid for, once the bill of lading is paid for, and it is mentioned that, okay, money is paid, and this bill of lading transfers the rights from the shipper to the buyer. Because on this bill of lading, which is already paid, which has been approved by the shipper, he is going to approach the shipping line at the destination port. Like, for example, Dubai or New York, the shipper, once he goes with this document, which is saying that, yes, my money has been paid, there is no liability with the buyer, with the shipper. The buyer goes to the shipping line, and then he said, yes, my dues have been paid. That on the basis of that paper, the shipping line will give the delivery to the buyer. Okay, I hope it is understood. Because on the destination side, again, it is the same bill of lading, which entitles the holder of the bill of lading, like the buyer, to take the delivery of the goods. The shipping line took this responsibility from the shipper to the buyer. So once that is sorted out, he can take the delivery from the shipping line.
Correct.
Okay.
Sir, one question.
Yes.
in all this process, suppose if the shipment is received by the customer and if there is any quality problem or if there is any, so how to deal with this quality and then the accuracy of the shipped items? So how is this is verified in the supply chain?
See, now it is a quality as far as the marine part is going on. We as a or a shipping line, we do not guarantee any quality, because it is the responsibility of the custom house agent to stuff the cargo as it is given to him by the shipper. If there is a dispute between the shipper and the buyer regarding the quality or the quantity of the cargo, it is to be dealt with them separately. It is between the two people. The supply chain people or the marine logistics, what I am discussing here, we are not responsible. The CHA was nominated by the shipper, who has to ensure that all the boxes, suppose like we are talking of that 500 boxes of garments which were stuffed in the container, he has to ensure that all are in intact. And these days what happens is they are making pictures or video also. In case of dispute, they do present each other that yes, all the boxes were intact when the goods were shipped. And if we are talking of the quality of, say, the garments which were shipped out, naturally, see, this is not under the purview of a supply chain professional, because it is again the shipper who manufactured it. We are not manufacturing it.
Okay. No, it's clear, sir. Just for the sake of audience. Okay.
Yes.
So basically, in the software and in the accounting perspective, when the shipment is received, so they need to make a goods receiving and then deal with all quality issues directly with the vendor.
Yes.
Yeah. Please continue.
Okay. Okay. Now, how does the physical delivery? How it's okay. Now I have discussed about the bill of lading, and now we are talking about the physical delivery. How that happens? Now the payment has been done by the buyer to the shipper. He has done his all obligations with the shipper, and now his container, obviously the number of every container has a number. His container with his goods has arrived New York, and what he has to do now? What he will do again? He will appoint his custom house agent to take the delivery of the goods. Again, similar thing. What role custom house agent does in the export cycle is doing in the import cycle. The only difference in the import cycle is there you will have to pay duties or taxes. All countries, they do at least some amount of taxes or duties are to be paid when goods are imported. Free to import goods are rare. So anyway, depends on the country, but the customs will evaluate again with the basis of what the description of goods are in the bill of lading. They will evaluate, and they will tell the CHA, okay, this is the duty or tariff which has to be paid. And once the buyer pays those duties and taxes, he can approach the shipping line that yes, everything is clear from the custom side, and take the delivery of the goods. He can take the delivery of the goods also again in two ways. Either he can take the container as it is to his warehouse, empty the container, and bring it back or return it back to the shipping line. Or what happens alternatively, you can empty the container and hand it over to the shipping line, and like the 500 boxes of garments can be put in a normal truck and taken to his warehouse. So this is the our marine once it is taken by the buyer to his warehouse, our marine logistics obviously ends here, and thereafter of course it's a different aspect of supply chain once it is back is reached the warehouse of the buyer. Okay, now next. Right. The where as I said, today we are talking about supply chain excellence and marine logistics. So I would now like to sum up and also to uh, explain it to all my audiences here is that it's okay in parts when I have told you regarding what happens in the marine logistics, but as a supply chain consultant, there is each and every aspect is very critical because we are giving a solution regarding to take the goods from one place or one warehouse to the another warehouse. Like I said, we started from the warehouse in India and now it has ended up in the warehouse in New York. In between, what all happens? It is again the supply chain management, how efficiently you are aware, how efficiently you are able to handle each and every aspect of this supply chain. Like just to sum up, first was if you code it properly, you must know what the code of goods is. Then packing of the materials, you must understand how it has to be packed. After that, once the goods are packed properly, stuffing of containers and delivery to CHA. Each and every point which I'm talking of, if you are not aware of or if you are not prepared, can cause immense delays, and then it will not be very good, or it will talk poorly about our supply chain management. As a supply chain management expert or professional, you have to be very thorough with each and every aspect so that the goods can move from one warehouse to another in the marine logistics in a time period which is efficient and which probably you have promised to your customer. Otherwise, if the time was not there, then we are out of business actually. Supply chain experts are out of business. It is because we commit that yes, we will do this in a particular time frame. Our existence is there, and our importance is there, and that's our business basically. So that is why please understand each and every aspect very clearly, and you must make sure that there are no slippages, there are no delays in any of the aspect. So once stuffing of container, delivery of CHA, then export customs clearance. CHA must make sure that the goods are custom cleared as soon as possible. Once the custom clearance is done, you book the container for the ship and then do the cargo tracking. And then, like I said, exchange of cargo documents. Once the container is shipped on board and you got the bill of lading, exchange of documents is also very, very important, especially when we are talking of a short run. Short run is, as I said, between Mumbai and say Dubai. Things could go to as close as from say Calcutta to Chittagong is half a day. So I mean, understand the exchange of cargo documents. They go through the bank sometimes. It's not that it is just 1 minute. It is not that you are just giving it to the shipper, but the shipper also has to make sure it goes back to the buyer. So that is why the exchange of cargo documents also is very important, and you must factor in this aspect when you are committing to your customer that yes, how much time it will take for the exchange of cargo documents, because you know what the trade is. And once this exchange of documents have taken place, then, and if it is done properly, next part what you have to be careful of is delivery of container from shipping line at destination. Because if the documents are not in place, if the buyer is not able to pay his duties in time, if the formalities of the shipping line are not done, so that means then again the delivery of container will get hampered or we will lose time. So this is another aspect. And then import custom clearance is again CHA, he is to do it. And finally, after the custom clearance is done, transportation of goods to the buyer warehouse. What I mean is why this is important is because some places, some countries, some ports, what happens is that there are sometimes restrictions of goods. In the sense they don't allow sometimes container to move out from the port, so they want it to be de-stuffed. Some places they are saying no, de-stuffing is not allowed here. You have to take it to another depot and then de-stuff over there. So all these nitty-gritties are there, which again, as a supply chain professional, you must be aware of what is going to happen after custom clearance at the destination port and how it is eventually going to reach the buyer warehouse. So that way it is my marine logistics part is over. I would again there's few things which I want to people should know is that there's so much there's a different type of logistics contract what you have as a supply chain consultant. You will come with a different contracts which are also very important for you to know. So one is, suppose you get a contract which is just saying shipped on board, means the buyer or your client tells you, yes, you just do it for me, please take it from my warehouse and hand it over goods to the shipping line, and once they are shipped on board and you get me a BL, a bill of lading, that is your job. So it's okay, it's much easier. Second one is you get an end-to-end logistics job. Somebody assigns you an end-to-end logistics job. Once it is you have an end-to-end logistics job, is what I have been explaining it to you, is basically from warehouse to warehouse. That is the time you must understand every aspect of shipping. As a global supply chain professional, when you get an end-to-end contracts, and these are much common these days. Nobody wants to involve themselves because plus if we take end-to-end logistics contracts, it gives us more opportunity to earn better money also. So, but to be successful in an end-to-end logistics contract, again, the whole thing boils down to your knowledge of the supply chain and how efficiently you can execute. And once you do end-to-end contract, there is something which is more intricate, is just-in-time. Just-in-time logistics is very typical in the automobile industry, which is in perspective of, say, internal national just-in-time logistics is still much simpler, because in just-in-time is, just to tell you, explain my point, is it's like, suppose a car is being manufactured in Maruti factory. So what is it? And some supplier is giving the the forward and back bumpers. He is a supplier of forward and back bumpers. Maruti is telling, see, I don't want these bumpers to be delivered whenever. He's saying that when I want these bumpers to be delivered to my factory, that is then you should give. Suppose like it is when the car is made, these bumpers are required on day 3. So he's saying, no, you just give it me on day 3. So this is that just-in-time logistics. And just now put this just-in-time logistics in automobile perspective on an international basis. So you will know or you will understand how important or how critical it is to meticulously plan your entire supply chain so that you can achieve just-in-time success in logistics. So yeah, with that, I hope
Yep.
I have explained myself, and the audiences have been able to get some insight into the marine logistics. And then any questions, you're most welcome to ask.
We take up another 5 minutes, like for the
Yes.
questions and clarifications
Yes.
required.
I think I have not taken much time. I probably
it's a
finished in time.
session, so we always keep some buffer for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. So as you said, there are two questions arised. One is as today's logistics is very competitive, as you rightly said, multimodal logistics is the way forward. Okay, that's how the people are taking up. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So how does this multimodal logistics work from the cost basis? And also, if somebody, a new exporter or importer who wants to work, so what he need to do? Just a layman's explanation so that we get an idea, sir. Yeah, you just told us of the whole process. First, in one scenario where we want to export or import something. So, in a very quickly, very high level brief.
Yeah. Okay. See, now multimodal logistics is it is again in a perspective of end-to-end logistics. In that, what is happening is it is not that the ships are only going by on the ship. It is firstly, suppose your client is in Delhi. From Delhi, the cargo is to move to the gateway port. So that is by road or by rail, it will come into Bombay. And then the next mode is by sea. It will go to, say, for example, Dubai. And from Dubai, again, they have to be taken not to Dubai port, but they want to say in a warehouse which is 100 miles away from the Dubai port. So that is then by road you have to transport it to the warehouse. So this is what basically multimodal is, and what you have to understand is you have to you know connect the links in a manner that it is very, very efficient.
Yeah.
So that would be regarding the multimodal logistics.
Okay. So the second question is nowadays government of India has introduced ULIP, the Unified Logistics Integration Platform. So that is one thing. We would like to hear from you if there is something. How does that help in overall logistics? Okay, and also we want to know the technology part. What is the technology way forward in the whole marine logistics? Any insights, Captain Sir?
Okay, yeah, I will tell you before regarding the technology part, and then I will come tell you about the ULIP part. Technology is that what has happened, where the delays are when we connect with each and every link. In the sense now, suppose there is an import of cargo from, say, from from New York or from USA to India, and it has to come to New Delhi. Earlier on, when the container used to come to say Bombay port, it will be landed in the port, and then the CHA goes and approaches them. Like I said, the process, and then the customs will handle the containers, assess the duty, and then give clearance to take it to Delhi, or the custom clearance will happen. Now, what has happened is with the technology, we have done there's a process where the custom clearance can happen in advance. The duties can be paid in advance even before the ship arrives. This is all sorted out. They have a random process where they are checking. It's their system. Nobody knows which container will be checked, but in their own random system they are checking the containers. But mostly all are pre-cleared. The containers just to pay the duty online, and then it will just directly the shipper can take there is no delays. There is a seamless system which the customs have evolved. That is where the technology has come in. Technology has come in marine field is where the bills of lading are no physical. They are all in the electronic format. It is very easy for the buyer to send it to the shipper. They are processed in the bank again very fast, and similarly the duties are paid again electronically. The paperwork, and that is how it is, and the shipping line is now putting everything on the net. You just put in your container number and you can track it like you can track it on hourly basis. And what government of India what has happened over the years, our logistics cost has been very high. And because of the logistic cost being high, our exports are not competitive. We have a very big country around us, which has efficient logistics system, and that is why they can place their goods in the international market on a cheaper basis than India. So to address this issue, the government has come up with a unified logistics platform in which they have created a system where we can reduce our logistics cost to the minimum. And in that same platform, they are trying to standardize the cost also. Because what happened is people keep complaining, or the shippers, they complain that the shipping line are charging money according to their own will. Sometimes somebody says that there is a difference between charges. So to standardize that aspect also, this platform will be useful. And like I said, these platforms eventually also help the country to see how much quantum of cargo is going, how much, what cargo is going where, and where we can improve upon, and how we can, facilitate the trade so that our goods are competitive in the international market. So that's what regarding the ULIP.
Perfect, sir. So thank you very much for an excellent presentation. And also, I think it's very important fundamental know-how this every supply chain professional need to know.
Yes,
that is. So you have explained it very nicely, and I really enjoyed hearing it. The topic. So thank you very much, Captain Sanjeev ji, for your time and effort, and on behalf of all participants, I would like to thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So I'll stop sharing the mic.
Well, thank you, sir. So.